Greetings and happy 4th of July to everybody. I'm making this video here. It's called Zero to Ferrari in 1 year, and that's exactly what I did. Actually, I did a little bit of less time than that, but last year I made the claim that on July 4th weekend that I would have a Ferrari within 1 year, and I wanted to buy a new one because previously I had been looking at some used ones. And I just said, if I'm going to get one, I'd rather have it be brand new. Yeah, this is a quick story of how I went to zero to being able to buy a Ferrari in less than a year. So one thing that kicked this video off to begin with is everybody badmouthing the United States, how terrible it is, how racist it is, how sexist it is, and I'm just tired of hearing people always down in the country. This is the greatest country in the world. You can do anything you want to. I mean, I know I've traveled to other places and they don't have the freedoms that we do or the benefits. There's a lot of other people that travel a lot more than me, and I'm sure they've seen it. But there's a reason that everybody floods into our country to get here. It's because we're number one. I mean, this is the place where everybody wants to live. It's the home of freedom, as much freedom as you could possibly have with even our terrible government. I love the country, don't like the government. They're just too restrictive, even though we're supposed to be free. That is also one of the things that you'll find if you try and replicate what I did. You will definitely see a lot of government hurdles and red tape you have to jump through. It's almost as if the government doesn't want you to work. Shocker. But yeah, it can be done. It just takes a lot of patience and, biting your tongue a lot in order to be nice to the people that are in control of whether you get a license to do whatever you want or open a business. So you kind of have to be really reserved when dealing with government officials. So what I did was I went ahead and formed, let me just check my notes here. There's a lot of different ways to accomplish what I did. Most of them don't involve ever working for anybody else because you're kind of at a set rate. Not that there's anything wrong with having a regular steady job. It definitely has its pros and cons, just like being your own boss has its pros and cons. But I would definitely say that there's a lot more opportunity as an entrepreneur or a small business owner to expand and be able to take advantage of all the things that we're granted here in the United States. I mean, how much is available to us is amazing. If you really start digging into it, you can find a lot of different grants and programs that are available to people. Not so much, a 51-year-old white guy, but there's a lot of grants for people that are, different ethnic backgrounds, women, special minority cases, disabilities. Which is another thing. I would probably qualify for disability. I have Crohn's disease over the past year while I've been doing this. I've been in and out of the hospital about 5 times. So that definitely had an impact on my timeline. But if somebody like me that, like I said, I qualify for disability. I just have never taken it because some people like to work, some people don't. I'm one of those guys that just likes to work. I take pride in what I do, and I want to feel good about myself at the end of the day. Not somebody who's sponging off the government just waiting for a check. That's lame. So if you're in that category, you're probably watching this video thinking you can never do it. No, you probably can't, because you're the type of person that won't go after it and get it done. So you can keep watching, but you're never going to make it. You might see me drive by one day, but that's about as close you're going to get. So anyway, enough of that. What I did was I set up 2 new businesses from scratch, and I wanted to try and find a way to buy a Ferrari, brand new, or even close to brand new, a year, 2 years old. I had set my sights on the Ferrari F8 Tributo. Just came out, I think, in 2020. Fantastic looking car. And I needed to get to $350,000 of what they cost. So that was my target, to be able to get there. So what I did was I set up 2 different businesses. And one is an auto dealership, and so that's going to be a whole nother video on how I did that. But I went ahead and established my own auto dealership. You don't have to have a huge lot or anything like that, or a billion salespeople. You can do it. It gives me the ability to go and go to the auctions, buy things wholesale if I want to. Also, along with that, I get exposure to a lot of different cars that are going to become available. Also, what the prices on them should be, more so than just going to Kelley Blue Book and looking. There's also when you become an auto dealer, and like I said, I don't have a big showroom or anything. I just got an auto dealer license. So there's a lot of advantages to that. There's a lot, some drawbacks, but there's advantages for sure. Also, one of the reasons I wanted to get an auto dealer license has been something I've been thinking about for a couple of years. My wife and I both ride motorcycles, and I'd like to be able to, buy, sell, trade motorcycles, kind of as a sideline, just for fun. And I needed a license here in Arizona in order to do that. So anyway, that's another reason why I did the auto dealer license. The other business I set up is like a wood paneling business, and it really doesn't factor into the acquisition of the Ferrari. I set it up because I like doing woodworking, and along with that, I figured it's fun. It's something to do that that I enjoy, but I'm just going to hire somebody to actually do it because I don't have time. But I might go out and help on one or two jobs. So that business, I'm going to go ahead and I've already put in the paperwork to make it a 501c. So what that's going to be is I'm going to make it a nonprofit, so that I can actually, I'm real big on hospice for elderly people, or actually anybody that needs hospice care. And I'm also a huge fan of animals, dogs, cats, pretty much anything. But I wanted to set up the 501c company in order to make contributions to hospice, and I don't know if it's going to be the Humane Society or definitely not SPCA. They're not really geared for loving animals, even though it sounds like they are, but when you really dive into it, they're not. So the Humane Society is probably going to be the beneficiary, and I'll probably split it down the middle between the hospice and the Humane Society. So anyway, what that does is that allows me to do what I want to do with the woodworking company, but also it would become some form of tax haven, tax write-off, deductible or deduction. There's a couple different ways to utilize that at the end of the year. I'm going to go ahead and take a break from this video just for a second while the battery gets switched out, and then I'll be back. Thanks.